He has started a multi-million-dollar social enterprise that spreads happiness. And he advocates for the rights of people with differing abilities. And every day, he shows us what's possible. So let's look at what's possible.
What you're looking at right now is a multi-million-dollar business. Colorful socks being packed, shipped to customers around the world. But this isn't just another e-commerce success story. This is John Lee Cronin. He's a CEO, a millionaire, a public speaker, and someone the world told couldn't succeed. John has Down syndrome. And after finishing high school, he faced what over 80% of people with intellectual disabilities face in America. No job, no opportunities, no path forward. But one simple question changed everything. Dad, what can I do for work? This is the story of how that question built an empire. Let's rewind to 2013. John had just graduated high school in Long Island, New York. He had his diploma, but that's where the path ended. His father, Mark Cronin, was a former corporate executive. He knew how the business world worked, and he knew the brutal statistics. Over 80% of people with intellectual disabilities are unemployed or underemployed. John didn't want charity, he wanted meaningful work. And Mark didn't want to create a fake job for his son. He wanted to build something real. But everywhere they turned, they hit the same wall. Job applications rejected, interviews, employers looked uncomfortable, made excuses, moved on, vocational programs. They felt more like warehouses than workplaces. The doubt wasn't just from strangers. It came from everyone. Can John really run a business? Can he handle customers? Can he be the face of a brand? These weren't abstract questions. They were asked directly, repeatedly, painfully. Mark remembers sitting at the kitchen table with John staring at that question, what can I do for work? And he didn't have an answer. That broke him. Because he realized something. The world wasn't built for people like John, so they'd have to build something themselves. John had two defining characteristics. First, he loved colorful, crazy socks. His sock drawer was legendary. Pizza socks, superhero socks, animal socks, you name it. Second, he had an infectious personality. The kind of person who lights up a room. Most entrepreneurs chase complex startup ideas, trying to disrupt industries with technology and innovation. Mark and John did the opposite. They chose something simple. Socks. Why socks? They're visual, they're joyful, they're easy to ship. And most importantly, they matched John's personality. The goal wasn't to compete with major brands on price, it was to compete on emotion, fun, and purpose. In 2016, John's Crazy Socks was born. No venture capital, no investors, no business loans, just a garage, a family, and a dream. Here's what nobody tells you about starting a business. The beginning is chaos. The Cronin family packed every order by hand. They learned e-commerce from YouTube videos and Google searches. They made mistakes, wrong socks shipped, addresses mixed up, inventory nightmares. But John wasn't just a mascot, he was working. He filmed thank you videos for customers on a webcam. He wrote personal notes. He picked socks from the inventory. He talked to customers on the phone. This wasn't symbolic. Customers could see John's involvement, feel his authenticity. But running a real business meant facing real challenges, scaling shipping without errors, managing growing inventory, handling an explosion of customer service requests. And then there was the perception problem. People treated John's Crazy Socks as a feel-good charity project. At trade shows, buyers would smile politely and say, "This is sweet, but you're not really competing with major brands, are you?" The family pushed back hard. "We are a serious business with a mission." They had to prove it with every order. Quality products that matched or beat competitors. Fast, reliable shipping. Exceptional customer service. Because here's the truth. Mission alone doesn't sustain a business. Execution does. They learned that the hard way, one mistake and correction at a time. Mark would stay up late packing orders. teaching John how to read shipping reports, problem-solving operational disasters. It was exhausting, it was uncertain, but they kept going. Then something unexpected happened. John's thank you videos started going viral. Customers weren't just buying socks, they were sharing John's videos on social media. The comments poured in, "This made my day! I'm crying, this is beautiful. Just placed my third order." Word of mouth exploded. Media outlets started covering the story. Orders flooded in. The business went from garage operation to something much bigger. John's Crazy Socks had national validation. Corporate events started ordering socks. Schools used them for awareness campaigns. The brand evolved beyond just a product, it became an experience. People weren't just buying socks, they were buying joy. They were buying into John's story. They were supporting a business that proved competence and heart could coexist. Today, John's Crazy Socks generates millions of dollars in annual revenue. They ship to customers worldwide. They've become one of the largest sock retailers online. But those numbers, as impressive as they are, aren't the real story. The real story is this: over 50% of John's Crazy Socks employees have disabilities, not token positions, real jobs, fair wages, career advancement opportunities. John became a CEO, a public speaker, and an advocate for inclusive employment. He's testified before Congress. He's spoken at major conferences. He's living proof that society's low expectations were wrong. The ripple effect is enormous. Other families with disabled children have been inspired to start businesses. Companies are rethinking their hiring practices. The cultural conversation around disability and employment is shifting because John didn't just build a business, he built a movement. So why is this truly a rags to riches story? Because this isn't about financial poverty, it's about opportunity poverty. John's journey shows us a person society underestimated, a family that rejected low expectations, and a business built on competence plus heart. The wealth created wasn't just financial, it was dignity, it was jobs, it was representation, it was cultural impact, and the lessons there for all of us. Start with who you are, not who you're told to be. John didn't hide his personality, he made it the brand. Simple products can win if the story is authentic. Socks aren't revolutionary, but John's story is. Inclusion can be a competitive advantage, not a weakness. This is John's Crazy Socks. This is what happens when one question refuses to accept the world's answer. If this story got you thinking, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.